Hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video, and this is kind of a weird angle, I know, but I like it. So I want to say, we're coming to the end of another year, 2024, and if there's anything that 2024 has taught me is that you can't control the things that happen to you, but you can control the way you react, to those things. You can control the way you take those things, the way you accept them. Are you going to be stubborn with it, let it control you, let it shake you? Or are you going to accept it for what it is and let it pass? 2024 was a rough year for me and, the people around me for a lot of different reasons, but speaking about me particularly, I went through, emotional hurdles, mental hurdles, physical hurdles. It was just a year of, I would say, molding, sculpturing. I feel like what this year was for me was a year of preparation, a year of, God just saying, like, yo, I have this thing I want to give you, but the way you are right now, you cannot take it, you cannot handle it. Therefore, I'm going to put trials and tribulation in front of you, so that by the time you overcome all these things, you will be just one step closer into becoming the person I want you to be. I don't think I'm there yet. I don't think I am perfectly ready to receive those things, but I do feel like I am a way more matured and developed person than I was at the beginning of this year. I I learned a lot of lessons in such a short time. Sorry, about myself. I learned about my strengths, my weaknesses, the dark parts of my personality. Sometimes we don't really think about ourselves objectively. It's always subjective. We're always thinking about ourselves from the perspective of, oh, we are usually we're the ones that are right. We're always right. We're the ones that bad things just somehow happen to for no reason. But when you go for deeper introspection and you really think about it, you realize that no, sometimes you were the terrible person, you were the bad person, you were the fault, in whatever relationship that you found yourself in. Could be parental, could be brother, sister, could be relationship, love wise, it could be your spouse, your significant other, whatever. Sometimes we don't realize that certain parts of ourselves, we are not conscious of certain parts of ourselves, and we seem to get confused when people react to us the way they do, because we feel like, because we don't know that sometimes we are those type of people, it doesn't occur to us that this is simply an effect that we cause, because this life is all about cause and effect, right? So yeah, just knowing yourself. You see, man, know thyself. I don't think, he was just saying know your name. No, because a lot of us, all we know is our name. We know how old we are, we know our names, we know what we look like, but we don't know who we are, and that's been a topic I've been emphasizing a lot this year. I've written pieces about it. I'm a poet. I rap too. I also act. So the thing with the gifts that God has given me is, it's one of self-expression. It's one of understanding the human psyche, whether it be acting, whether it be poetry, whether it be rapping. It has to connect somehow. It has to find its audience. And for a long time, I didn't know who my audience was, because I didn't know who I was. I didn't feel like I belonged to any certain group of people, and I still don't think I do, but I have a better understanding of where I fall in. You know, for the most part, I have a better understanding of um, the child that's in me, who that child is, because who we are as adults are just responsibilities and the strength we built up to handle those responsibilities. But deep down, we're all just children, and that child sometimes is hurting, and we ignore the pain that the child is trying to let us realize that, yo, I'm hurting. We don't let that child heal. We just continue shoving it down, suppressing those emotions. And that's the thing with emotions, they don't die. The energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be transferred from one state to the other. So if you don't let that energy go, and the only way you can let it go is if you let it flow. Letting it flow means if that pain manifests as depression, you need to be depressed. If you don't let yourself be depressed, you will never come out of it. Not really. You would continue to suppress that depression, and one day it's going to blow open, and it's going to be bad when it does. If it's anger, it's manifesting. You need to feel that anger, find a way to um, express that anger in healthy ways. Boxing, um, you know, um, running, jogging. Just a way to expend that energy. And before you know it, it's gone. They don't last. That's the thing. They give you the impression that they are here to stay, but they don't last. They are only there to teach you something and to heal you, to make you a stronger person. You know, it's not meant to kill you, it's not meant to defeat you. No, it's there to build you. And that's what a lot of us don't understand when it comes to negative emotions. It's everything that happens to you is supposed to be for you. That's the only way you're going to learn, is the only way you're going to grow and become a better person from that. You know, I lost my train of thought somewhere around because I just kept going down the rabbit hole. But like I was saying, this year was just a year that um, I used my gifts for nothing, for much more than just um, showing that I can do certain things. I use them to better people, for people who would care to listen, to tell them how I felt and how they possibly felt and how to deal with it. And it gave me a sense of purpose a little bit, just knowing that, okay, these gifts that I have, I could use it to really be somebody that people check on to see what latest info and update I could give to them, because I'm very intrigued by the human psyche. I love anything that has to do with the behaviors of human beings, the way they behave and why they do. I love the intrigue of space because it feels like there's endless possibility in the universe out there. I just feel like a free soul. So yeah, and I also think it's a gift, but sometimes it manifests like a curse because I think I'm too sensitive. You know, I've been working on that, but I think I feel way more than I necessarily should, right? Or what is the average of the human person. I just feel too much. I feel things that happen to me, I feel things that happen to others, I feel things that I have no business feeling because it's not even remotely close to me or has anything to do with me directly. I could be watching a movie and then carry the burden of the main character just like that. The main character has nothing to do with me, he's not me, but for some reason it feels like I I I am living his reality, and I think it's important for me being an actor to be able to do that. But I'm just saying, you know, thinking about it in isolation, it just feels like a terrible trait. But I know that it's a gift. It's just the way I choose to use it. So before I ramble on for too long, 2025 is upon us in a couple of days. in one day. In fact, we'd be in a new year, and there'll be people who talk about new year resolutions. There are people who would set goals that they ultimately would not achieve because they are not consistent. They give up after 1-2 weeks of motivation. But inside all of that, and that's all good, make your new year resolutions, make your people look down on it, but I don't think anybody should. I think you don't need a new year to try to become a new person, but if that's what it takes, then no problem, do you. But I think above all, developing yourself physically is great, developing yourself mentally is great too, but I think emotionally is very underrated. We, as human beings, society makes us feel like, oh, what's emotions? You're being soft, you're weak. No. A lot of our day-to-day life is ruled by emotions. If you don't feel like standing up from bed, that's an emotion. It's you are a being of emotions. You cannot not have emotions. You cannot disregard emotions because they are a huge part of who you are. So going into 2025, your mindset, there will still be trials. People go, oh, 2025 is my year. Yes, it could be your year. This might just be it, but it's not going to be roses, and going into it, we should have this mentality of whatever comes, and I will deal with it. I wouldn't let it linger. I'll deal with it when it comes, and I would let it go. That should be the main thing. That, emotionally speaking, like, if you get upset, allow yourself be upset. You don't have to react to the anger. You can feel it, process it, and then let it go. Pain, whatever comes, develop yourself mentally to be able to handle all sorts of stones that life might throw at you, because life is unexpected and things can happen at any time, but it doesn't mean that we should let life dictate the way we see it. Everything in your life is simply your perspective. It's not the truth, it's your perspective, because you don't know the truth. We don't know the truth. Not even in our relationships, Even your parents could be lying to you about something and you don't know. You just have a perspective that you believe to be reality. So knowing that, you understand that whatever comes is still a perspective. It doesn't mean that this is what it is, this is how it's going to be. There's no manual to this life. Just go into 2025 understanding that you are your own person. Do not feel bad about setting boundaries. Do not feel bad about cutting people off. It's your life. They can say whatever the hell they want, to their friends or whatever. That's noise. You know what you're going for. You know what you're looking for. You know who you are. You know your strengths. You know your weaknesses. You know how you feel about certain people. Don't let what people say determine the way you deal with your relationships. That's one of the biggest lessons I learned this year. I was so concerned about, oh, what would people think about me if I do this? And ultimately, it didn't matter because now those people are not even around anymore. Nobody cares. Ultimately, it's just another gist to them. It's just another topic of discussion. But it's your life. So do not let the chats, the whims of other people dictate the life you should live. Do it for you and for only you. 2025, be you unapologetically. That's what I've been stressing this year, and that's what I will continue stressing into the next year. Because when you are authentically yourself, when you are genuinely your own person, a lot of things start to bother you less. Starts to make less. You start to make less fuss about things that you don't want to do. You just ride to the beat of your own drum. That's all 2025 should be. Go to the gym, just work on developing yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and in any other way that you can or want to. That should be the biggest goal. Do not let distractions, no. The worst thing you can do this incoming year is to let yourself get distracted by anything. anyone. Do not get distracted. Keep the focus on your goals, on the things you want to do, on who you want to be. Just keep that focus on yourself, because that's the greatest that's the greatest gift you can give to the world. Yourself. You have nothing else to offer but you. Everything else will be given to you. Clothes, someone else made it. Phones, what do you want to mention? Even money, you were paid. But the only thing you have genuinely is yourself. Nobody can give you. Slave trade is over. Nobody could give you. You give yourself. Choose the people you give yourself to. Choose the people you let experience you, because you are an experience. And you are not an experience to be had by everybody. Everybody does not deserve the experience that is you. So do you. Stay with the people who know your worth. Avoid the people who don't. Avoid the people who give you negative energy. Stay around people who match your energy, who give positive energy always, because that's all life is. Energy. What you put out into the universe, you will receive. So go into 2025 knowing that as long as you continue to be yourself, as long as you continue to be positive, as long as you continue to strive for the things you want to have, you will have them. And 2025 indeed will be your year. I wish you a happy Christmas. I wish you a happy new year in advance. And I'll see you in 2025. Take care of yourself. Peace.